There we go, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, welcome everybody. I'd like to call this organizational meeting and regular meeting to order. Firstly, I'd like to welcome Andrew and to the board, and we are going to do our pledges here shortly. And I never really had a chance to thank, I saw Bill, he came to, and I just wanted to thank him for the time he did serve on the board. I've been on him with many years, and he's always been a very big asset. But welcome everybody. Let's start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag. One nation under God. Just a moment in silence and prayer. Be seated. Okay. I think I'm going to start with Frank. You want to start yours, and then we'll do all three. Well, I was going to try to do all three at one time, but I think it'll be too complicated. We'll just go through one by one, but we're going to stand and do your oath of office. We did this last meeting.
But actually, this is because you're going to be appointed as deputy supervisor.
I can read.
Okay.
Want me to read this?
Yes.
Okay, Franklin Selk, I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, the Constitution and laws of the State of New York, and all local ordinances, and that I will faithfully and impartially perform and discharge the duties of the office of Deputy Supervisor for the town of Sidney, according to the law, and the best of my ability, term for January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Do I say this too? Not me.
No.
All right.
Sign it.
By the power vested in me by the people from the town of Sidney, in the state of New York, I do pronounce that you are now sworn as deputy supervisor for the town of Sidney.
Cool.
All right. Andrew. You ready? Pull up your hand, I guess, just make it formal.
Gotcha. I, Andrew Hinckley, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of New York, State of New York, and the Constitution and the laws of the State of New York, and all the local ordinances, and that I will faithfully and partially perform and discharge the duties of the office of Town of Board Member of the Sidney, Town of Sidney, according to the law, the best of my ability. Term for January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2028.
By the power vested in me by the people of the town of Sidney, what's in there twice, and the state of New York, I do now pronounce that you are now sworn as a board member of the town of Sidney. Please.
Thank you, sir.
That's motion. I gotta get you to sign that.
No, it's 3 years.
Roll me back with my leaf. Okay. All right. So you want me to read it? I can do that.
Yes, cheating.
I, Daniel Goldberg, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York and the Constitution and laws of the State of New York and all local ordinances, that I will faithfully discharge and impartially perform the discharge of duties of the town of Sidney Deputy Code Officer according to the law and the best of my ability. Term for January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2028.
All right. Power vested in me by the people of the town of Sidney and the state of New York, I now pronounce you that you are now sworn as the town of Sidney Deputy Code Officer.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Let me stand there.
Thank you. Okay, the following is an 8-part resolution, hereby offering for its adoption. The regular monthly board meeting, will be held on the second Thursday of the month with an audit of the bills at 6:30 PM and comments of the meeting or commencement of the meeting at 7 PM unless notice to the contrary is given. And that's really the only time that it changes. Other than that is, after election season there, it's held on the first Thursday, and then, in January, it's also the first Thursday. Other than that, they're always held the second Thursday. Okay, NBT Bank, Sidney is named as the official depository of town funds with JP Morgan Chase, NA being as an additional depository. Community Bank is also an official depository of town funds. The reporter shall be the official newspaper. Amy Cross is hereby reappointed as dog control officer for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2026. Mark Lee is hereby appointed as a 5-year term on the Zoning Board of Appeals, term expiring December 31st, 2030. We have a vacant, which we will announce at our next meeting for a second appointment. The reason we had Mark Lee assigned already is to have a quorum, we needed one more initially right now. So going forward, the vacant spot we will announce after we interview all the candidates. We did have several people apply, so we will make that announcement at the next meeting. Let's see, the mileage allowance for the town personnel using their own vehicle on town business shall be at 70 cents per mile. Our law firm for this year for a 1-year term will be Hinman Howard Patel, OP Binghamton. They're hereby appointed as the Sidney town attorneys for a 1-year term. Let's see, do I have a motion to adopt this 8-part resolution?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. All right, appointments announced and committees named. So the first appointment will be the highway, which will be Frank and myself. Hospital will be myself and Andrew. Insurance will be Kevin and Lindbergh. Warning and planning will be Frank and Paul. East Sidney Link will be Paul and Frank again. And finance will be myself and Paul, or yes, Paul. Justice will be Kevin and Andrew. IT is Paul Murator and myself. And we're gonna form a new grants committee this year with Kevin and Andrew both on it. The dog control liaison will be Kevin as well, as he's familiar with it and done a great job handling that. Appointments. I hereby announce Frank Selleck to be our deputy supervisor for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2026. Also announce that Karen Kropp as she will be our bookkeeper for a 1-year period. Supervisor, let's see here. Allison Wilbur as code enforcer for a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2028. And also deputy supervisor will be Daniel Wilbur, I'm sorry, deputy code enforcement, I'm sorry, for 3 years, December 31st, 2028. Let's see here, clerk. The clerk is going to announce Julie Stevens as her first deputy clerk, Gina Smith as her second deputy, and Allison Barnes as her third deputy collector, ending December 31st, 2026. All right, and do I have a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Carried. All right, so I'd like to call our regular board meeting to order. And let's see, I need to does anyone have a motion to approve the town board minutes?
I'd like to speak if I could.
Yeah.
Before we approve the minutes.
Okay.
The December board minutes make it sound like council members are not doing a proper job for the town of Sidney. The chair made his comments fall under the First Amendment of the Constitution, that is freedom of speech. As a third-term member of the City Town Council, I strive to uphold high standards through common sense, and empathy while being transparent. Please let us move forward in the new year. Thank you.
There's actually a couple of issues with these notes this month.
Okay.
Well, for organization, the makes request for remote monitoring and temperature sensing doesn't belong with the hospital, it's to town hall. So it falls under IT. December 15th public variance hearing, it's actually a ZBA hearing. Under IT, we have to sign a contract for the weather station up on the roof. Get prices for temperature sensing monitoring was done in November, not last month. And assist Paul would be searching truck. I would have nothing to do with the truck, that would be Cody.
And we did actually, we were able to get a $10,000 lower bid from another dealership, and it's on order. And when will it be in, Cody?
Should be ready in 3 weeks or so.
Okay. Right, and it's a much smaller truck than the one that we have, we ordered 2 years ago that will be here, when is that? It was July.
Should be April.
So, we ordered the one to, unfortunately, if anyone was not here at our last meeting, we had the first large storm that we had, was it 3 or 4 trucks down? So it's just, this is kind of this will serve as a very good solid backup and kind of an emergency, but it's about less than half the cost of buying one of the big 10-wheelers, but it should be a good temporary fix, so.
You all have to give me those corrections before we can actually
Yeah, I'll
approve the
send
board
them to you.
meeting. So actually, we have to table these until next month
That's
to
fine.
be able to approve them, because nobody let me know that there were some corrections that should have been done prior to the
I
meeting.
just tried.
So that's the reason why I send them out.
Yeah.
So the board meetings cannot be approved then.
Okay, for the first minutes, we've got all the comments there, specifics on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see, so let's move on to the approval of the payment of bills. Start with General Aid Fund 25-502 through 25-523 in the amount of $14,195.80.
Make that
These are
motion.
25. Did you say that?
Excuse me?
These are all 25 bills at the moment.
Yes, 2025, correct.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. East Sidney Lake 25-18 in the amount of $1,736.04.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor? Carried. Right, total general fund vouchers are $15,931.84, and these are all for 2025. Let's see here. Highway DA Fund 25-141 through 25-153 in the amount of $102,078.98.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Carried. All right, CM Hospital Fund 25-255 through 25-266 in the amount of $47,674.90.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Carried. All right, so total vouchers paid are $165,685.74, and that is for 2025. The next are the approve the payment of bills for 2026, the General Aid Fund 26-1 through 26-9 in the amount of $7,691.32.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Carried. General B Fund 26-1 in the amount of $9.80.
That way cheap.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? All right. East Sidney Lake 26-1 in the amount of $182.13.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Carried. City Center Lighting 26-1 in the amount of $396.09.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. All right, let's see here. Highway G fund, 26 dash, what's that? Sorry, I'll skip through one. Total general fund vouchers are $8,279.34. DA fund 26-1 in the amount of $10,132.
Make that motion.
A second.
All in favor? Carried. CM Hospital Fund 26-1 through 26-2 in the amount of $3,326.40.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Carried. So the total vouchers paid for 26 are $21,737 even. Okay. Correspondence. Any new correspondence? Sheila? Any correspondence that
Didn't get any, didn't mail that many.
all right, monthly reports, bookkeeper is not here. Sheila, do you have, or I can read it for you if you'd like. For the,
Oh, yeah. We collected $1,648 in the month of December.
and as far as, financially, I mean, we ended up very, very close to our budget numbers. Some were a little up and a little down, but I'm sure there's gonna be some last minute, interest adjustments and things like that, but it'll, generally the financial year end reports are not done until probably another 2 months, I guess, so. But, we're still in very good shape financially. Let's see here, oral reports. Cody.
The last month has been extremely busy for the highway department due to the weather. Most days have consisted of snow removal and then working on the trucks with whatever time we had. At the last board meeting, we reached out to other dealers for quotes. I'm sorry, since the last board meeting. We ended up getting over $10,000 less, from DePaul Chevrolet. So that truck, like we said, is on order. Think in 3 weeks we'll have it. It'll be all together and ready to use. But other than that, we're doing what we can to keep up with everything. The weather's just been nonstop. And with that, we're going through a lot of material, salt, sand, and diesel. But everything's going. That's all I have.
How does it work when you deplete them? They don't allocate to anything themselves, or do they? Can you get more of your?
Yeah, so I just have to order it as we use it. Our salt shed's pretty small, so we hold like 90 ton, which is 3 loads. So usually after a snowstorm, I order a load. Because it takes like anywhere from 3 to 7 days to get.
Didn't you want to refurbish the salt shed?
Yeah, we need to.
Okay.
We're hoping it holds out till spring. We got some cables on it right now holding it up.
What, any ideas cost wise to do something like that, or just?
Not yet. I'm in the beginning stages of researching it all.
Okay.
Depends how we wanna go.
Alright. Okay, super, the only thing one thing I'd love to do, like with the new committee this year with the grants, I mean, I'd love to see Kevin, you probably know better than anybody as far as the availability, trying to get solar on the hospital. Here as well, as possible, we've got space in both, and whether that's feasible. Yeah. I've heard just recently another news, I think, Camden actually did, and okay.
On their town hall?
Yeah, I'd love to see if he could do that, but it's, yeah, I just was talking to him about it yesterday, and that it's working, he says he has an electric bill in a year, so it's, it's good. But I mean, yeah, I'll look into it. Right, thank you. All right, moving on here. Taylor. Pretty nice.
Started taxes. That's about it.
Thank you. Highway.
You know, I got a phone call about 7 o'clock in the morning every morning. It was Cody. He says, we got a truck off the road. I wanted you to know about it, and other than that, it seems like we have wind boys and Beamers do a lot of, they're great mechanics, and they actually came to the shop one day to work also. We owe them a lot, they get reimbursed, of course, they get paid, but our fleet is not that 2004, one truck is, 2008, one of them is. You know, and, it's just, we just got him a new truck, new truck coming, so that's gonna help out a lot. But, so we just kind of try to keep on top of stuff, you know, it's hard to do, with an aging fleet. Yeah,
Thank you. All right, hospital. Andrew, it's too soon for you, but I don't know anything yet. Take you up there and give you a tour.
I got a couple of things though. Did he, is the, elevator, nothing to the company done with what they're doing?
Believe so, yeah, I think, I don't know if they actually finalized the soap or the cell phone portion, but, I think he's got that all in the works.
Do we get a delivery from T-Mobile?
That I know
Okay, and we're gonna try to see if we can't get a few more tenants there at the hospital this year, see what we can do about that there, so it's. Got, you know, discussions, but nothing definitive, so. Insurance,
Like they're going up?
Yeah, well, actually, no, our rates went down, so.
yeah,
We're all set, right? They sent one last
Yep,
email to
yep,
you. We're all good
yeah.
now, right?
they had everything. It just-
Okay, yeah, so we're back on Niner. And, looking forward to working with Bill again.
We had a question though about, one thing maybe we could touch base with, Bill Van Gorder on is just, because it kind of came up, we're gonna have to replace the oil tank here at this building, it looks like, and, just, it's not, you know, any.
Who flagged it, Moravito?
What's that?
Who flagged it?
No, it's just, they've had a lot of problems with, sediment in the tank, and it's pushing 35-40 years now, so it's
Okay.
time to replace it.
Okay.
So we're kind of, he's exploring all options, whether we're gonna go above ground or below and
Oh,
so forth.
okay.
If we go above ground, we're gonna have to just build a little addition off, which this might say you don't have to buy kerosene, you just basically insulate it well.
Sure.
That's what we've always done, and that works pretty well, so. But, all right, let's see, moving on to zoning and planning.
we have a comprehensive plan, third Monday, it's actually Martin Luther King Day, I think, but those guys still meet,
Yeah, we still need.
and it's 6 o'clock. And then, the DBA meeting, this coming Tuesday, here this Tuesday. And of course, we're gonna be working on filling out one more slot, and we'll be interviewing for that,
When do you want to set those interviews up?
for us to contact people, ask them convenience. You know, more convenient time for most of them,
When we shoot an email to them?
they should,
What time is the ZBA meeting?
6, Tuesday.
Had very good, qualified candidates, so it's good. Anything else on zoning or?
I don't know.
Right. East Sidney Lake. Don, I'll let you.
Pretty
continue
quiet
on.
here this time of year.
Any thoughts on rates or anything yet this year or?
Now that we have the new committee formed, I'll get with Paul and Frank and we'll get our heads together. Hopefully we can have that ready for next month's meeting. And then we can do them at next month's board meeting and I can get the letter out at the end of February.
How did you make up? Did you ever get a chance to do anything with the electric or?
Nothing yet. I have everything, they're holding all of my supplies in their warehouse, cause I can't get down in there to put it in the garage right now. So maybe with this January thaw, I can get everything moved to the campground, from their warehouse, but. That'll start hopefully spring break week, the first, second week of April, whatever that is. I've got some volunteers lined up to help and. I know Paul and Frank might come up and cook hot dogs.
Oh, yeah. I can eat some too.
So I did talk to my tree guy yesterday at a basketball game, actually, I ran into him. He would like to get in there and try to get some more of those dead trees down now. We get to springtime, that's a rush to get them out of the ground, so. We're continuing with that.
Got ash or what?
Dead ash trees.
Any pines or anything?
No
Down
pines,
each, you
it's
said?
all pretty
Yeah.
much ash.
Hmm.
And
That's
every one of them is dead, there's hundreds of them.
Mm-hmm,
So we've been trying to take down 20 to 30 a year is our budget permits, so.
mm-hmm.
I try to pick the high populated areas to get rid of them, so.
They try to resell it for camp firewood or?
Most of it's still laying in the woods from last year, and there's just so much of it.
Yeah.
When you take down 23 trees, it must be a log skidder in there to try to get them out. They're just all every which way, but they've been good about laying them in on top of each other so that, you know, the rabbits and all that, like the underbrush in there, but we skid out what we can for firewood, but it's pretty messy in there. Other than that, like I say, I meet with Frank and all of the rates set. We'll want to do any of the other rules and regs and we'll move forward for next month.
Great, thank you. Right, moving on to finance and as I mentioned, we're
Pretty good.
very good shape and our interest is gonna be a little less this year, but it'll certainly help. And if anybody wasn't here for the budget, thank Lois for their contributions to sales tax for the town. It's certainly
Did you get the check yet this month?
not
December?
not this year.
Not yet.
No. I know it's on its way because Kate talked to them. I don't know how much it is, I could tell you, but I don't know. I didn't ask.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. They haven't announced it yet, so.
It's big though.
It's good that we remind folks that those checks from the dispensary go to the highway fund. Right, it's a state rule. So,
And you got a new truck.
So Cody, all your trucks gotta be green.
Yes.
All right, IT.
It's not much, I got a couple of things, I gotta sit Nate down and get his phone set up so he can get alerts from this monitoring system. And,
For the temperature.
yeah, it's really cool, I showed you earlier. I spoke to Peggy, I think she's online with us right now, regarding the fax machine, I know Nate said it was, 60 years old, it's not, she bought the fax machine last year. So I highly doubt the fax machine. I think this is a communication issue between the ATA and the fax machine. So I'm gonna get in touch with Gavin this week. Let's see if they can do a test for her, because I don't want her to get frustrated with me.
Okay. Right. Anything else or?
No, that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Great. All right. Kevin, grants.
So I called Delaware Opportunities to find out about the CDBG grant. Because he said that normally they would make their announcements prior to the holidays. But they have not made any announcements yet, so.
But
he
it's
wasn't
most
sure.
likely gonna happen, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shoe-in, I hope, but according to what they've said, but he wasn't sure if the government shutdown had done anything. Technically, those funds are already allocated to the state, and the state is just acting as a distributor.
Gotcha.
But there might have been some interference. Either way, there's no announcement. I even reached out to someone from HCR who administers the CDBG grants, and I didn't hear anything back, so I'm not sure about. But I do, everybody will know.
Great, thank you. All right. And lastly, dog control, Kevin.
So, I don't know if you looked at the report or not, but Amy had a pretty busy month. And I spoke with her for a long time about different things that are going on. So, just to get into it a little bit, she had to do that training in the previous month. And there's a lot of increasing regulations for shelters and for DCOs. And apparently it's making, it's making things very difficult for them, financially.
For the shelters.
Yeah, for the shelters, financially, logistically, there's a lot more regulations and, she said that apparently there are some lobbyists that are pushing for, I guess, animal rights kinds of things, but not necessarily understanding or caring about or whatever the downstream effects on how it hits, especially small town municipalities where, you know, as it is, they're already kind of rough financial situations. They're relying on donations and things like that. And these kind of things really hurt them. So, you know, shelters are basically shutting down, starting to not take in dogs anymore.
Boy.
Yeah, so there's less adoptions, housing issues, people getting evicted. And now they have to go rent somewhere, and the landlords don't accept pets in the rentals. Just overall pet costs, just a general rise in cost of things in general, obviously affects pets as well. And, so you just end up in a situation. So, I mean, you know, cheers to Amy for doing what she does. She's definitely in the trenches every day. I mean,
See what she got
wild
bit, didn't
stories
she,
of,
Kevin?
yeah, she got bit.
Yeah, bit, yeah.
Yeah, and she does several other townships, and some of them aren't really very helpful to her when she gets in different situations. Told me some stories about some other towns where she had problems, taking dogs, and they kind of just left her high and dry for costs.
What towns does she do besides her?
She does here, Afton, Bainbridge.
Sidney Village,
Yeah, she does the village too.
yeah.
I think there's a couple other ones.
This particular dog, we had to pay to have put down and
Yeah.
cremated.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that you run into these situations. I mean, I don't know if it's right for me to tell the whole story, but it's a very crazy situation. And even the sheriffs couldn't help her. It was like in the middle of a snowstorm. She had to go get this dog out of this very random place, and boy, it was a huge Great Dane that was emaciated, and it was a wild story. She ended up getting bit, and they had to put the dog down. Yeah, so cheers to her for doing it.
We took it to the dog pound and waited at the dog pound, said, get rid of it, just call the authorities, put it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Which they did humanely,
Right,
shots.
right. So, and it comes to a point where who's making what call, who has the authority to do what, and it can get tricky, so. That's that.
All right. Thank you. Any new business? Unfinished or comments from the floor?
Have unfinished business.
Okay,
Actually, before I get into this, I want to just say a few things. Everyone cares about this town. Okay, I know emotions have been high and there are strong opinions, but I truly believe most of the people want what's best for this town and in their governance. That said, it would be unrealistic to ignore the fact that there are also individuals who want to undermine us and contribute to confusion. My goal tonight is not to engage in that or add fuel to it. Last month was not pretty. There's been a lot said since the last meeting. Some of that confusion stems from how events are documented and communicated. My goal tonight is not to point fingers or escalate anything, it's to clarify the record so we'll all work from the same set of facts. I also want to be clear and respectful about the town clerk's role as a custodian of the town records. Getting the record right isn't about blame. It's about accuracy so we all can move forward. Once the facts are clear, it becomes easier for all of us to focus on continuity and doing the work we were elected for. That's my goal tonight. I just want to clear up the record and get the record straight. The first issue is whether the former town attorney actually resigned. Joe Ameti resigned. A resignation does not depend on a specific format or a piece of paper. Under New York law and long-standing public office principles, a resignation occurs when someone clearly communicates their intent to step away and cease performing their duties of the office. That's what happens here. There is no law that allows a town to force an attorney or any town official or any employee to continue serving simply because documentation did not immediately follow. When paperwork lags reality, it can create confusion. For clarity, the former town attorney had already resigned before making any public comments during the meeting. His remarks were made after he stepped away from his role and therefore made solely as a private citizen and a taxpayer. Whether people agree or disagree with what he said is separate from the fact that he was no longer acting in an official capacity. Once a resignation occurs, it becomes documentation. not enforcement. That's where process and role clarity matter. The town clerk's office serves as a custodian of town official records, and accurate documentation is critical. When records clearly reflect events as they happen, issues tend to remain manageable. When they don't, routine matters can escalate into unnecessary conflict, such as last month. I also need to address the claim that the former town attorney was acting unethical. Ethics violations are not determined by the opinion or frustration. They require a formal finding through an appropriate professional process. No such findings exist. Disagreement with someone's actions or comments does not by itself make them unethical. Those comments included concerns involving his son's interactions with the town clerk's office. Whether one agrees or disagrees with his perspective is not the issue here, and I am not weighing in on the merits of that claim. Just want to put that out there. The only relevant point is that the remarks were made after his resignation and therefore not in an official capacity. You know, we all work hard here. We honestly work like, I put more time into this town than I put in my own business. And to have a comment that I have to correct also. The statement that the board is not trained. Myself, Eric, Frank Selleck, even over there with Bill Heath, we all trained together. I went over to the Grange with Bill. Frank and I went to multiple meetings together, multiple classes. We did webinars online. That is so put on childish.
Kevin also.
I haven't done anything with Kevin. I'm sure he's trained. Because we all take our jobs seriously, you know? Your taxes haven't been raised in 10 years. Why? Because you have a board that cares about its constituents. We have all these new technologies coming in. You know, we have zoning laws that are keeping the town safe. And we have a highway department that's incredible. But yet the town board is not trained? Really? Every town board member requires 4 hours of training per year. Most of us did a heck of a lot more than that. And to suggest otherwise misrepresents the record and the commitment of his board. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. Yeah, take this in the record.
Okay, any comments from the floor? Yes, ma'am.
Second month in a row, I'd like to ask the town board members remove their political signs all over Sidney. And on 357.
I don't have any of that.
I mean, it's 2 months already and they're still there that I spoke about last meeting. Thank you. I'm not mentioning any names, but it's not just one person.
We all, anybody sees any, we'll just grab anybody's stuff. I know I've seen some from the sheriff's department and some others too, but.
I took Greg the month because he was stopping by to speak to me.
Gotcha. Okay,
I told him I would.
okay,
He
all
asked me.
right. Well, if we see any out there, we certainly do that. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to, I know I was back here during the summer, I mentioned about the signs from on the county roads. The last couple of months, the Amish have been traveling half, 2/3 the way to Walton from City Center, working on a barn over there. They're traveling in different aspects, doing a lot of work around the area, and there's still no signs up.
Amish sign.
Amish signs stating, I mean, they're trying their best. I mean, they're traveling after dark now and they have flashing lights and everything on their buggies. But, you know, it wouldn't hurt any if they just addressed this a little bit further so that bring it more.
County, are you already?
Yeah, I have signs up.
You already
The
did.
town's got their signs up. It's the county,
Okay.
County Route 23 doesn't have anything onto it, and there's been some close calls, and I just don't wanna see anybody
Yep,
get
no,
hurt.
that's well said.
Around.
I will certainly bring it up. Actually, I'll email him tomorrow. Thank you. All right, any other comments? Okay, the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
There you go, Andy, you're in.
See you the 19th. Anybody see comment?